We're back again. It's us, the computer game show. Matt's here.
Hello.
James is here.
Right.
And Sean's here.
Is this post Brexit blues, David?
I think so. I don't even want to go into it. I'm not in a great mood. I don't want to be sitting here talking to you three. If I'm totally honest, I've barely done any gaming. I haven't been following any gaming news. I know that Imagine bought someone, or is it? What is it? Imagine bought Future.
Yeah.
So what? Future was Games TM, was it? And Imagine was Edge. Is that right?
Other way around.
Yeah,
okay,
get it right, Dave.
That's how much I care. I just want to get back to video games and them being celebrated again. I kind of feel so disconnected from games journalism at the moment that, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's depressing. If people lose their jobs over this, then that is horrible. And if you're in that situation and you're listening to the podcast, then my heart goes out to you. And, you know, I hope things work out for you. But I just feel so disconnected from that world at the moment. Like the whole side of gaming, I'm just not. It just does not feel like it reflects how I feel about games anymore. Like, I fucking love games. I'm so addicted to games. Like, I love them. And I want them to be... Don't get me wrong, there's flaws in gaming and there's flaws in the industry and stuff like that, and it's important that they're pointed out. But there is not enough love for games out there at the moment. It's freaking the shit out of me. I just want people to come along and go, do you know what? You know what? I fucking love a game of FIFA. I'm just, although I'm going to slag it off later, but I'm just saying, let's all cheer up. Let's all grab the nation by our hands and cheer it the fuck up a bit, shall we?
Can I just point out, on the show notes, there's 2 Matt Murrays.
What?
So, you know, on Google Docs, it tells you who's looking at the document.
Yeah.
There's 2 Matt Murrays.
Matt, are you looking on your phone and on your computer?
One of them might be computer work. Can't be too careful.
Bang up for the show. I've just come back from Haven in Devon, and it was quite a stressful. I mean, this week's been stressful anyway. But spending 4 days in a caravan with your mum, dad, and child wife is a bad one.
I didn't realise your parents were there.
Couple of moments that cheered me up though. The first was when Harry had his first genuine meltdown as a toddler. He was just freaking the fuck out. He was screaming because he was so excited to be away, but he didn't sleep, but he needed to sleep.
Yeah.
And he's just, oh, fuck you, man. And he was just like saying weird shit, and he sounded like the devil, and he was screeching and stuff. And in the middle of it, he come out with this, and I swear this was he probably didn't mean it. It was probably a weird coming together of syllables to form this sentence, but he did actually turn around and go, "Oh, this is England."
Big fan of the Shane Meadows drama.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Dave, can I ask you a question about this? Do you get, because whenever my son does this and he goes completely nuts, like, because he just gets more and more angry and starts saying "no" and doing that sort of stuff, and then, don't you find their face expressions are really funny and you kind of have to stop yourself laughing? Because it's just
it's that thing that they do where they lift their nostril up really high. As if they've just smelt shit. And they just like look at you like that and you just want to burst into fits of laughter.
That's the problem, because you just feel like saying to them, come on, you don't know how ridiculous you look at this moment, and just calm down.
Jo was driving yesterday and she said, "Oh, bollocks," and Harry said, "Oh, bollocks," and it took everything in me not to laugh, because the whole point is that you're supposed to completely ignore it at this age, don't address it at all. And but hearing a 2-year-old say "oh, bollocks" is the funniest thing that will ever happen to a man. There was also this, you know, when you go to these things, James, and they have those stage performances, and they're always terrible. And like these holiday camps all have their own, like they have their own characters, their crazy gang that they wheel up on stage, and people in suits or whatever. Well, there was this gorilla, and he was like doing this awful story. He was a Scottish gorilla, and he was going, "Oh, boys and girls, what are we going to do?" And all this, right? And it was just like really awful. And then out of nowhere, he busted a whole parody to that song, "Cheerleader." Who sings that, Matt? You're down with the kids.
I have no idea what that song is.
He did this whole parody song about that cheerleader song, but with bananas in it. So just out of nowhere, it started going, "Ooh, I think I found myself a banana." Honestly, me and my brother, I had stomach cramps. I was laughing so hard. I just thought, fair play. I would actually buy that. And my favourite thing of the weekend is literally the first day we got there, we walked into the big arcade bit. I put £2 into a crane machine and pulled out a Donkey Kong.
Nice.
And instantly thought of Matt Murray.
That machine was clearly willing to pay out. And when I put upwards of £14 in, it's just it's rigged. Silly.
I still can't believe
that.
that. 14 quid. That's
It might be
now
more.
I'm
It depends if Jill's listening. But
Do you know,
I think I'm about
when we went away
5 quid.
recently, we went to a place like that as well, and I saw one of those machines, and then like Chen was like, "Oh, shall I have a go?" And I was like, "No, remember Matt Murray." It's like
not willing to pay out, Chen. Yeah.
I think I'm £5 in on those things now, and have pulled 3 toys out. But there was my brother. Was the Matt Murray of the holiday. I think he put in about £30. He was so furious. I'd come
I
away
feel
with
for him.
something.
I really do.
He put in about
tough. They are
£30.
tough to use, aren't they? Those machines. They're really tough.
I mean, we've
As
discussed
always.
this before, right? They are literally rigged.
Yeah.
So,
we
yeah.
have. You've
Thank you,
got to be
Sean.
that guy to point that out, haven't you, Sean? You can't help yourself. It's like brain Tourette's. You do know that. Yeah, we know, mate. Chill out.
I
Yeah.
can't, mate. I'm highly strung.
How's your week been, Sean?
It's been shit, mate. We've entered into a complete economic and political collapse.
Yeah, it's been one of the worst weeks I can remember. Like Brexit and then the Euros. I mean,
Why
what
are we
next?
talking about this?
Hang on, can I just ask a question though about that? Is it true that Clive Tildesley said, because I'd given up watching by this point, that he said, "Oh, this puts like the weekend into perspective or something"?
Something like that.
He said something
I
like
agree with him,
insane
James.
like that. It's like
It wasn't as good as
crack?
Ian Wright's comment. Did you hear what Ian Wright
Yeah,
said
that
on
was
the
amazing.
TV last night? Right, we'd just been knocked out the Euros. Everyone was depressed. They turned to Ian Wright for some expert punditry. And Sean, get this. His quote was, I just can't stop thinking about that film Space Jam.
I heard about this. Yeah.
Ian Wright, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Wanker.
Didn't he actually say it's like monsters have stolen their powers or something?
yeah. He said it's like Monstars,
Monsters.
which is even funnier.
Anyway, we did the last thing we want to do is be that podcast that talks about Brexit, because I don't really want to,
I've
and
got
no one
45
really wants to
minutes of
listen to
material
it.
here about the second
Yeah,
referendum.
we're qualified. We can do it.
We're not qualified as
We're,
Labour.
we're more
Ooh.
qualified than the people that voted leave. But anyway,
Ooh, here we go.
Has anyone-
Political. Satire.
Has anyone written a article about how Brexit affects the gaming industry yet? Because it's coming.
yeah, there has been.
I think I
Well,
have. Yeah,
right,
I think-
hang on.
Polygon had one out pretty
Hang
quickly.
Hang
Go on,
on.
Sean.
Right. Because I sort of half wrote one just
Oh,
because.
you can't.
Will you fucking just shut
God.
up for a second? It wasn't about the industry in general. It was. I'd seen a lot of people expressing valid concerns about this Creative Europe video game development fund, and I actually, because my day job is I work on an EU funding program, so I was attempting to offer
Not
some
for long.
insight into
I'm
that,
sorry.
and then I just sort of got about halfway through, and I was like, do you know what? The world doesn't need this. So,
I've done that about a few articles that I've tried to write.
Yeah.
I tried to write one about how I had a genuine addiction to the game Freeze, and that's still happening. But tried to qualify it with why I had, and then I just thought, no one cares about this. Like,
do you ever find it's when you really feel like being sincere, or like you've really got an angle on something, that you're most likely to be like, do you know what? Nah.
Yeah, I mean, there's been so many that I've started to write that I thought, no, I'm really going to sit down and make a point and make it personal, and then you read it and you're just going, you are a twat. Like, what are you doing with yourself? So then I wrote that article about the best 5 bits of sand in a video game. I felt better about myself, or how the next Call of Duty should be set in LOLO. Right, going back to Freeze, I thought I'd give you a little bit of an update. Bollocks, fuck this right up. Here we go. Right, the counter's going up now. I've just gone to the stats menu just to see how many games I'm up to now. I'm waiting until 5,000, I think, before I give up. It's getting fucking close, lads. It's 4,895 at the moment. Games of
Jesus.
Freeze. James, what have you been up to this week? Much?
No, not really. I don't want to, because I'm just going to start getting angry. So yeah.
Come on! I just did my whole little rant at the start. We got to pick this up now. Should we just go straight into what we've been playing?
Yeah, because I've played like hardly anything. This has just been the worst. My career is just starting, and now this has happened, and it's probably not going to happen now. It's just the worst. But yeah, go on.
What career?
Exactly. That's what's happening now.
Fucking hell, James! Come on, mate. Positive. I know it's hard for you. Maybe we start with Matt. Matt, what have you been playing? Let's lift the spirits. Come on, Matthew Murray, the most positive man in the world.
Well, I've been quite down actually since Friday. And no, okay. So last week I said that I did something that Farley had never done before. Well, this week I've done something Sean has never done before, and I bought an Xbox One.
Fuck.
Oh, what? You bought one?
Bought one today, Dave. Yeah.
You fucking... it's about fucking time. Right, okay.
Because I was sick to death of your constant mithering every single day.
Right, listen, we've got a group of friends that all play Xbox together. Two of them will never buy a PlayStation 4, right? They've said that explicitly. They will never buy a PlayStation 4. It kills me, and it kills Matt, that we're playing inferior versions of games that we could all be playing on PlayStation, right? Forget James for a moment, because he did it to play with his mates, right? Not for us at all. It's true though, isn't it, James? I've never seen you on it, and then you go, "Oh, we were playing Rainbow Six the other day."
It's true. Well, I play at least every Friday, but you know.
So we've been putting Matt under pressure because we're all playing Overwatch on Xbox One, and Matt has just been adamant that he's not spending the money that the insurance company gave him to buy an Xbox One on an Xbox One. What changed your mind?
I just thought, fuck it. And also Inside's out tomorrow, and that's meant to be special. And I just thought, I was basically waiting for a better deal. I thought, sod it, I'll just get a deal, so I did it.
I told you, this is like that moment that you were trying to pick which emote to buy in Destiny.
I always need to make sure that I'm maximising my money.
You stood there for half an hour trying them out, finally bought one, and then realised you can return it within, 30 seconds, so you instantly returned it again.
I think it's 3 minutes.
Fucking nightmare.
Anyway.
So what did you get?
I bought Overwatch, of course. It came with a second pad and Quantum Break, which I haven't played before. Have any of you guys played Quantum Break?
I want that game so bad, and that's annoying.
I wonder why. I wonder why. You want it because it's been a bit of a failure. That's why you want it.
That's not true. No, that's absolutely not true. I want it because I really liked Alan Wake, and I really liked, what other stuff I've done.
Yeah, so
it's such a weird game. It sort of come out, and then that was it. No one really mentioned it again. Odd, it's a proper Evolve territory, wasn't it? Bizarre.
I don't think it really bad as that, thankfully. I was just going to take that straight to CX tomorrow and sell it on, but I might try and just play through it and see what it's like.
Yeah.
So I've got that. So I can play Overwatch tonight, Dave.
So what did you get? What was it? How much did it cost? What bundle? How much was it all?
It was £200 for the console, the extra pads, and one game, and I bought Overwatch. I was like another 40, but I'll sell the other things, and then it'll be less than £200, I think.
It'd be interesting to see how you take to Overwatch. I'm still totally on the edge with it.
For fuck's sake! Why did you make me buy an Xbox One then?
Because it's what we're playing at the moment.
Yeah,
That's the thing, isn't it? I put in nearly 100 hours into fucking The Division, and that was a ridiculous decision. That was a stupid way to spend my time. The new DLC's out today, I think, and there was chatter about people going back to it, but I've decided I'm going nowhere near that game.
Yeah,
I'm sticking with Overwatch until
I have no desire to go back.
comes
Also,
out.
this Xbox I got is slightly redesigned, but this one has also got a matte top. And it looks better, I think. I think it looks better for the matte top rather than the
Really,
big
I
glossy.
didn't know
one.
they redesigned it.
Well, it's just like a very, very slight change. And the pad now has got a 3.5mm headphone jack. Apparently it's got slightly
right.
different bumpers, and it updates over the air as opposed to plugging it in. But
That's
updates their
excellent,
controller?
actually, because that's one feature that I really miss on the Xbox One. That's on the PS4. I played pretty much all of Uncharted 4 with headphones plugged into the pad, and it made such a difference.
The only problem with that, though, because I've got one of those pads as well, is there's no volume controller, is there?
No, you have to do it in a menu, didn't you?
Yeah, which is
that's the same with the PlayStation, though, isn't it? You have to turn it down through the holding down the PS button and then going to devices. They need to do something about that, but I don't know an easy way around it. Okay, so you bought that today.
Bought that today, but and also obviously I've had a busy week with with politics and football, guys. But I had one night where I was free to play games, and I played Destiny after Sean raving about it last week.
Mm.
And
how did it feel going back?
It felt great. I want to play it again now. I don't really want to play Overwatch, but I want to talk a bit about it. So I obviously, it's been well documented on this show and other things that I've said. I played, a few hundred hours of that game. So I loved it. Had an amazing time. Gradually sort of went off the boil after the last DLC. I went back to it this week just to try it out and see what's changed. And I played like the daily, and I did like a strike and this and that, and it was great to be back. And I want to definitely go back and play some more. But one of the things I want to talk about Destiny is the fact that it was so overwhelming, all the new stuff, right, in the latest patch, and since I played it, I basically played it for about a month or maybe two after the Taken King came out, and after that I just stopped.
So what are you talking about? New stuff, like is it new characters or what? Were you overloaded with like menus and shit?
But basically, before I started playing on that evening, I tweeted out and asking if there's like a refresher video. For someone who hasn't played it for a couple of months. Turns out there isn't. But someone needs to be doing that, because I was obviously heavily ingratiated within that game. But you take a month or two, or however long it's been for me. 6 months? I guess maybe longer. Well, when did Taken King come out? Was it September?
It's been nearly a year, I think. Yeah.
Wow, so it must be like 8 or so months I've been off that. Yeah, there needs to be like a video, maybe an official one, maybe, I don't know, someone needs to do a video like showing, for allowing people to go back to the game. Because
but it's so pointless now, right? Because the new content, when's the next big patch coming?
September.
September, yeah.
Oh, right, okay, so you still got a little while, I guess.
Yeah. So I went in, there's like, there's like a new splash screen which told you about the new patch, and then I went into the tower, and there was these boxes which you open, and they give you like armor and emotes and chroma, which is chroma is like a way to change the color of your armor. But there's just so much. I mean, I gradually get my head around it. But the thing I want to talk about right now is Destiny is great, and I'll keep playing. But I basically want to know what your guys' thoughts on how they're gonna do Destiny 2. Because right now this game is super, super complicated. I think even for me who's played it before, like can they really start selling this game to new people, which is obviously what they want to do with a sequel. There'll be reviews, they'll try and get new people involved. Can they do that, but have the game as complicated as it is now?
Are you sure though that this isn't just how you felt when you first started playing Destiny in the first place, and how you felt when the Taken King came out and stuff like that?
I'm not saying it's technically more complicated than it was, although I guess thinking about it, I guess it probably is, because I'm sure there are more systems now, and there's definitely more currencies now than there was when the game first came out. But you rarely hear about new people starting and playing Destiny. When the sequel comes out, is the game going to be like instantly this complicated? Are they going to have more sort of almost like tutorials in the game to get people to understand all the currencies? I mean, the way I learned it previously was I listened to podcasts and read things like Reddit to like actually get my head around all the different currencies and what you're supposed to do where and when and this and that. I just think it's such a complicated game. I just wanted to know what you guys thought in terms of how they're possibly going to do the sequel? Is it going to be as complicated? Are they going to?
Well, Sean, you're more experienced in sort of online RPGs and stuff, right?
Yeah, I guess.
So how have they done that in the past when they've brought out like some huge update?
Well, the thing is, like with games of this type, I think they'll probably just try and repeat what they did with the original Destiny, in that, you know, basically a lot of the, like, basically, you know, levels 1 to 20 when Destiny first came out, which, like, for most people, like, you know, they do the story, get to like level 18 and be like, all right, that's it. But then all the really complex stuff comes in once you hit level 20. So it's all about sort of, you know, that what most people, or what a lot of people might perceive as the bulk of the game, is actually just your sort of like an extended tutorial. And then, yeah, once you hit that end game point, that's when all the mad numbers stuff starts coming in.
Yeah, I suppose.
So I think I'm not worried. I think they'll probably just, and I think like Destiny 2, they've said you're going to bring, you know, you're going to have like the same character for 10 years or whatever. That was their claim. I don't know how they're going to do that. My theory is there's probably going to be some really stupid excuse like, oh, we've got a time portal that takes us back to before the collapse. And that would allow you to take your character into the past, and then all the tech would be better. I mean, because you basically, that's the issue, is you want a situation where it's a clean break, and yet also the same character, and yet also suddenly all the available gear is better, you know?
Yeah.
Well, that, and also the people that have spent hundreds and hundreds of hours in it feel like that there was a point to doing that.
Yeah, like they've got something to carry over, but also something to do in the new game. So obviously that's always weird. I mean, the way they did that with Destiny, transitioning from year 1 to year 2, was then they started introducing like year 2 versions of old exotic items and stuff. So if you had the old version, you could like pay a much lower cost to just sort of upgrade it to the year 2 version. But I think they'd need more than that for a full sequel.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see what they do.
With something like World of Warcraft or whatever, wouldn't it just be the case that you would just put at the very start of the original game, but that was modded enough that was changed enough to still feel fresh and relevant to the sequel, right?
Yeah, I mean that's one thing Destiny definitely hasn't done, in that that year 1 stuff is still there and is still relatively quite shit compared to the Taken King stuff. Whereas, in your World of Warcraft or whatever, they'll, as well as adding new stuff, they'll go back and revise the early stuff as well. Like, you know, it's been about 10 years since I played World of Warcraft. I can guarantee if I loaded it up now, I wouldn't recognise any of it. Which is good, and you know, it's a healthy thing for a game to do, because it's all well and good just continually adding new stuff at the top end, but if the beginning of the game was kind of shit, then
I really don't want to do a Destiny 2. I just would rather it's just Destiny, because I think that's a cool name, and I think World of Warcraft, there's never WoW 2. It's just World of Warcraft, and there were new sort of patches. There were new expansions, and then you go to like, the new area from the new expansion, etc. I realise they've got to have like a retail presence and to sort of re-kickstart sales and get new players involved. I realise I have to, but I sort of don't. I just want it to be called Destiny, and then just keep adding new patches, but.
Yeah, it's like
they need that marketing push, don't they, for a sequel? Because without having the benefit of monthly, charging people monthly, I think that they're gonna need a huge push for this second one, and the only way to do that is by literally marketing it as a sequel.
The only thing I can
they'd be mad not to.
The main justification, like you say, I mean, obviously there's retail presence, but also guess you guys have read all like some of the stuff about how shit the tools are that they're making the game with. You read
that?
Yeah. So it takes them 18 hours or something to load up the level editor, or something stupid like that. I can only assume they've gone for a full sequel so that they can fully revise shit like that, basically. Whereas if they were to just continually work on stuff for Destiny 1, that's always going to be a problem. But then this is me commenting on dev stuff, and that's always a bad idea, because I don't know how these things work.
Is there any chance that maybe they'll increase the fire teams to 4 people or whatever for a sequel?
Well,
that would be really good, wouldn't it? If they
you'd need to bring in a new class, I think, wouldn't you, to justify that? Because at the moment, there's teams of 3 because there are 3 classes, right? And I know that you can have a team full of Titans, but the whole idea is that you go in with one of each class.
But then I've never particularly felt like in most MMOs, it's really clear, like, right, we need a damage dealer, we need a tank, we need a healer, we need, a buffer and debuffer, and, and if one of those things is missing, you really notice it. Whereas in Destiny, I've never, like, when we're putting a raid team together, I'm never like, right, well, okay, we've got 2 Titans, so we need 2 Hunters, and then we need 2 Warlock. Like, everyone just sort of does whatever.
True. Yeah, I've never sort of felt the need that that one was missing, if you know what I mean. But I just don't know where the focus is going to be. I mean, having scalable fire teams would be ideal, really, wouldn't it? If I could go in to something as a 2-man fire team, then brilliant. If I could go in as a 4-man fire team and still have a challenging and entertaining experience, then even better, because I can pick and choose. Like, I wouldn't have to be looking specifically for 2 people and then limiting it to just like the 3 of us. So
because I don't know. This was the reason why I had put the Division over Destiny, like, to play with other people, because we've got a group of 4 people, not 3, and it's always irritated me, because it looks like a game that I'd really, really like, and I have played it a little bit, but it does limit that a bit. Like just saying,
it's definitely a thing. There's definitely been many occasions where 3 of us have been on and having a good time, and then someone's like, "Oh, you're playing Destiny? Can I join?" And it's like, fuck. Like, it's not that person's fault in any way. But you almost resent them just for turning up and being like, "Why have you made us make this difficult decision?" Because it's either we either split into 2 groups of 2, or we all just go, right, let's stop what we're doing and just play Crucible, which, I mean, for some people is fine. Some people just love just playing the Crucible. But that is
the amount of
problem.
times I've had to do that, and like there has to be 2 teams of 2 doing like the weekly. Like, this is really hard now because someone else turned up.
But you say that, but then surely the Division has the same problem, but with just different numbers. Do you know what I mean? So, like, if there's a group of 3 of you, you always got to play with a random, or if there's a group of 5 of you, you can't play and you got to split up.
No, you can have any size you want, though, for the teams. Like, if you go into an encounter or whatever, you can have 3 people. It doesn't matter.
What are you talking about?
If you go into a mission in the Division, you don't have to have 4 players, like, playing at the same time. You can just have 3 if you want.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, you can do 2 with a fire team, right? Can't you?
What do you mean?
Like, in Destiny, you can have 2. What I'm saying is, so you're just saying different numbers. It's just that that specific number is the case that you find yourself in.
But in Destiny, you can have so the fire team is 3, but so if you've got 4 people, you could split up into 2 groups of 2. But then you can't do exactly the same level at the same time as each other, can you? Whereas in the Division, if you've got 4 people, you can play that level together. Or if you've got 3 people, you can play that level together. Or 2 people.
And if you've got 5 people?
Yeah, well, not with 5 people, obviously, but at least with 4.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's the same problem, but with different numbers.
Yeah.
Am I not right? Am I going crazy here?
No, you're right. It's just that I think, like, I know, it always just seems like in most online games, like, you have, like, 4 is, like, the number, like, not 3. Like, I mean, how many other games have...
Yeah, but you're making this is your personal experience, isn't it? Because you've got 3 people that you regularly play with.
How many other games have, like, teams of just 3? Like, how many other games have that?
I don't know.
Yeah, he's right. It is normally more than 3.
Normally 4. Mm. It's normally 4 or more, or 4 or 5, It's not that common. This is just my personal
Destiny is great. I will also say they announced today that the Rise of Iron is only on next-gen consoles. So I wonder if that's going to make a big improvement in any way.
I mean, like, it's easy to be like, oh, hang on, that's kind of shitty. And I realise not everyone can afford a next-gen console, but I understand at this point. Like, obviously, they've got the numbers to back up this idea that it's probably just not worth doing the previous gen ones.
The shitty thing is that they haven't got cross-platform. You can migrate your Xbox
you can migrate
361 to your Xbox
360
One,
to
right?
Xbox One and PS3 to PS4, but
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that free, or do they charge for that service?
No, it's free.
No, it's free.
That makes total sense then, doesn't it? I mean, yeah, fair play. Come on, catch up. Yeah, that makes total sense. Because that always pissed me off because I wanted to play Destiny with James and Matt wanted to play Destiny with James, but we had characters on PS4.
Right, yeah.
And it just made so much sense if we could just use them on both. But I'm guessing that was out of Bungie's hands because I bet they would have much preferred that. And a feeling that they would have had a lot of double sales from people there.
It makes you think because obviously some games have done cross-platform play now. And when you consider that your Destiny character is stored on Bungie's servers,
yeah,
you would think that if they could act as the middleman, that shouldn't be a problem. But maybe,
but they've never done cross-platform play with PS4 and Xbox, have they? Or PlayStation and Xbox?
Rocket League has it, doesn't it?
Which
no,
game?
it has like PC and Xbox, but they haven't quite gone cross-platform yet in that regard.
Yeah, both parties have said that they would be open to the idea, but that's as far as it's gone.
Right.
Which makes it sound like they're not actually open to that idea.
I can only assume, just from a technical point of view, it's just a fucking nightmare. So,
yeah, I mean, I've got a feeling it's more down to stubbornness of the of the companies. I don't know. I'm just hoping that becomes archaic at some point. That becomes something that we look back on and just think, Jesus Christ, remember when they wouldn't let PlayStation and Xbox players play with each other? Because it just makes so much more sense to me to do it that way. I suppose Sony have got no interest in doing that at the moment because the appeal is you get what all your mates have got and all your mates have got a PlayStation. So, it's probably not in their best interest to start letting Xbox and PlayStation players play together, but Microsoft are banging out for it. I'm sorry, James. What I was laughing about in the background there was that I think you realised what I was trying to my point right at the end of that conversation.
Yeah,
I just went, oh yeah, no, it is specific to me. Yeah, it's
that, and then also I realised that you'd gone to Matt for a cheer up and everything being great, and then talking about how great Destiny is, and then I just brought everything right down again. It's just depressed everybody. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So do you think?
I had actually this week intended to play and talk about Semblance, which is this new sort of puzzle game. It's out on PC, but it came out, I think, last Thursday or Friday out on PC. It's meant to be also out on PS4, but the devs didn't realise how long it would take to get a sort of PEGI certification, so it's been delayed by 2 weeks or so. But no, this game at Semblance, it's really, really, really well. It's one of those games where you can whiz through it in like an hour, but there's lots of different endings, lots of different things you'll find along the way in different playthroughs. It's a game where people from Reddit have come together to share clues, share things that they've learned. So that game looks really, really good. So hopefully by next episode, I should have played that as well.
Yeah, what's it called again?
It's called A Semblance.
What's it on? What's the platform?
It's definitely on PC. I'm not sure about Xbox, in all honesty. I'll check and come back to you. But yeah, A Semblance looks class, and I've also pre-ordered Inside, so I'll have that played for next week as well.
Yep, same here.
I'm really looking forward to Inside. I've heard nothing but good things about it, and I was a big fan of Limbo. So
I haven't read any reviews properly, but there's two I saw scanned. The first paragraphs of both said Inside is a game that is much better if you know nothing about it.
Yes.
So I didn't read anything, but I've seen scores and they all sound pretty good.
All I know is
everything.
A friend of mine who because I wasn't that keen on Limbo, I enjoyed bits of it, but overall I was like, it's a bit, when people say indie games are pretentious, Limbo is a bit pretentious.
Tell me your opinion on Braid.
Braid is an incredibly smart puzzle platformer that doesn't just fucking kill you off for no reason repeatedly. And Limbo doesn't. Did it actually communicate anything to you? Did you feel like it had anything to say?
Oh, by the end of it, yeah. The way, the theories about what the story was, I thought were fantastic, and the way that was portrayed at the end was really good. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the first half of Limbo was a lot better than the second half of Limbo. I thought a lot more thought went into it, and I felt it felt better to play. The puzzles were more interesting. It was less frustrating. It had some really grim shit in there without being gruesome, if you know what I mean. Like, it's because it's all silhouettes and stuff. It was like that moment where it looks like there's a little girl praying or laying down on the grass, and then all of a sudden the floor drops away from her and she's actually like hanging. That sort of shit really got to me. And alright, it is a bit obvious, a bit po-faced, but it never felt like it was ramming it down your neck simply because of the art style. I think that helped with the sort of tone of the game. I didn't think it was pretentious at all, really. I mean, I don't know. I didn't get that feeling in the slightest. I don't know where. I
felt like it thought it was being cleverer than it actually was. I feel like as an actual puzzle platformer, it was quite badly designed in places. But don't matter.
I mean, what are you talking about? Like walking into traps and stuff? Like,
yeah, just things just fucking setting off, and then it's like, right, well, I had absolutely no way of seeing that was coming. So thanks very much.
I think what it was, right, is that I didn't play it for the challenge. Like, I didn't feel like it was that challenging, and I didn't feel like it was trying to be too challenging. So when I did die, I don't know, it didn't really frustrate me that much because I didn't die too often. And okay, there were cheap deaths in it, but I wasn't playing the game to complete it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I was playing the game to experience it. That's pretentious. Like, that's me being pretentious. There's no getting around that. But I did playing the game to soak in the atmosphere and everything, and I think it nailed it.
No, that's fair enough. I was going to say the sound design is superb. Really sparing use of, well, just any sound, really. Like there's no just like background noises or music for the sake of it. Like, everything you can hear is relevant, and that's really nicely done. But anyway, point is, someone else I know who wasn't a huge fan of Limbo really likes Inside, so I'm excited.
Yeah, there's a few people that have said, I don't care what you think of Limbo, this is a game you should play.
So speaking of Limbo, isn't Limbo now free for Xbox One?
Yes.
Yeah, it's free.
Yeah, so if you haven't played it, then you should download it because it is fantastic.
Not for long though, because July's Games with Gold lineup's just been announced. That's coming. Have you heard what games are on that?
Good.
What's on that?
Banner Saga 2. There's a few people saying, "Oh yeah, that's going to be really great," but
I never gave Banner Saga doing that thing again. I never gave Banner Saga a proper go. I gather it is well up my street though. I know a lot of people who really enjoyed it. I assume the second one is better.
The second one coming to Xbox Original, the original Xbox there, and Tumblestone, which whatever. That? I don't know. Rainbow Six Vegas 2. I mean, if James hadn't already bought the limited edition re-release.
See, what's funny about that is I really don't like Rainbow Six 2. I just end up playing it. It's it's
awful. And Tron Evolution. That's those are the Xbox 360 games that are obviously backwards compatible now because that's what they're doing. Tron Evolution, I don't even remember that. I'm assuming it's not like that old.
It was a tie-in for the film. Game. No, it was a tie-in for the because they did a new film, didn't they? And then it was a tie-in for that.
Wow,
no one cared.
You know, it was a cracking film when you had to be reminded that it existed. James, what have you been playing?
Just before we go to James, I looked up. Yeah, so Semblance, it's currently just PC and PS4, but they are working on an Xbox version as well as Mac and a VR version.
Poor James.
Poor James.
What have
Semblance.
you done?
It looks class. So I'm looking forward to playing it hopefully next week.
I've looked
next year sometime.
I've looked a Semblance up and it looks terrifying, so I'm having nothing to do with it.
I don't think it's a horror. If it is, then oh god. Anyway, I thought it was more like a weird sort of freaky puzzle game, but whatever.
If it is a horror, can you stream it, Matt?
I've googled it, and the first headline I've got is "A Semblance is a highly discomforting new psychological horror game."
Oh, well, fuck that.
It's not a horror game.
I'm not going to be able to handle that.
James, you sent me a text not too long ago saying that your wife was warm into the idea of you spending money on a PS4.
She was until Brexit. And now
I can't blame it on
This
Brexit.
is the real cost ladies and gentlemen.
Are you
The
fucking
UK.
happy, Farage? Are you fucking happy, are you?
The problem with Brexit is it does sound like a really nice breakfast snack. It sounds
Does.
like one of those like bars you get, for working people on the go.
No, Matt, that's not the problem with Brexit. All right, let's get that straight. James, what have you been playing?
Well, I've still been playing Mighty Number 9, which
Jesus.
is a bit... Well, because the thing is, okay, I'll be honest, I haven't played much this week, but I have still been playing this. And I know, cause I still haven't finished it. And see, that's something about that, because there must be something compelling about it, because I do kind of want to finish it. It's it is making me sort of forcing me to want to do that. But I'm currently stuck on the last level, which is particularly hateful at the moment. It's it's not that good. But the thing is like there's been a lot of people saying things like, how it's a dreadful game, it's the worst game, it's a mediocre game, the whole thing. But it's not that bad actually. It's not a bad game. It just I've been trying to pin down what it looks like the art style, and it really looks like an iPhone game. Do you know what I mean?
Well, very popular for games. So it looks shit then.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I mean, see, and that's the thing, because some people have been going back to the original Kickstarter and then taking a look at what the original concept art looked like, which was significantly better than what we've ended up with. How many years is it? 3 or 4 years later, and then complaining about that quite a lot. But I guess, I mean, part of this is the whole thing about Kickstarter and how you feel about this. Whether you feel are people justified in feeling angry about this? Because they've invested money in it and it hasn't turned out to be that great. I mean, it was $4 million, which is obviously a lot of cash. But to be honest, I don't really feel that sorry for people, to be honest, who are backers, because I still feel that's the risk you take when you back stuff on Kickstarter, and that's
Definitely.
that's how I feel about Shenmue 3. I mean, I really want Shenmue 3 to be good, but I'm also fully prepared for the fact that it's not going to be. Or if it even...
Did you back it?
I did, yeah. Of course, I backed it. As soon as it was announced, I backed it.
Anyway, everyone backed it.
It's the only thing
no, they didn't.
on Kickstarter I've ever backed, because it's the only thing, and that's because it's like a dream project, which is, I guess, what Mighty Number 9 was for some people as well, bizarrely, which I don't fully understand. But I mean, like I said, I just think it's still down to people's own. That's the risk you take when you put down, and I don't think you have really a massive right to feel that entitled, to be honest. I mean, what do you think, Dave?
I think you've got a right to be angry. I mean, if you've been promised something and it hasn't been delivered, yeah, you've got the right to feel angry. But I've never liked it. I've said this on so many podcasts. I've never liked the idea. I think the fact that something is being built with no risk is wrong, really. And I think the fact that if you want investment, then you should be looking to get investment, not to get people to pre-order before the game's even been, technically proven that it works. Do you know what I mean? It's not fair on consumers. Consumers aren't investors, and you're not treating them like investors. And I've never been a fan of Kickstarter and this sort of shit. This isn't the only case of this stuff happening, and I can't understand why anyone would really do it. I mean, even with Shenmue, I don't get it. What you expect? What level did you back?
Only just for the game, because
so you'd get the game when it came out.
Yeah, which ironically means I'll have to buy a PS4 because I haven't got a PC either, so I'll have to buy one if I want to actually play it.
So at the moment, is it only guaranteed for PS4 and PC?
And PC, yeah.
What happens if the bottom falls out of it completely?
Well, it could do, but then see the thing is that's because again it's one of those things where this is like a dream project. So you're just thinking that's why when I put down, I think it was like £25, I was just thinking, okay, probably I'm throwing this money away because maybe this isn't going to actually happen. But it was still nice to just have that dream that maybe it will happen. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's
like buying a lottery ticket.
Yeah, it is a bit like buying.
I'm genuinely thinking about buying lottery tickets now just to pretend that I could win the lottery every now and then. Right. Just have a little bit of dreaming going on in my life. You know what I mean?
Well, you've got to have something nowadays. It's like there's not much else to look forward to.
Fucking hell, we got to stop talking about. We had a tweet from someone today saying, please don't talk about the Brexit stuff because we just want a little bit of a break from that, and it's been the theme of the show so far.
I mean, I'm looking. People often do this thing where they're like, right, have a look at your Kickstarter pledges. How many of them have actually been delivered? The implication being not fucking many of them. Looking at mine, I've got Minecraft documentary, got that ages ago. Double Fine Adventure, got that eventually. But again, really liked the game and really liked the documentary they did alongside it. Diamond Trust of London, which is Jason Rohra's weird DS game. Again, that arrived. That was fine. Sports Friends got that. There's the LA Game Space thing that I paid into purely because it came with a bundle of weird games, some of them by Keita Takahashi, does Katamari Damacy. That was fine. The ones Hyperlight Drifter as well, that turned up. Ones I'm still waiting on.
That turned up. That's as good as you could give that game.
That technically exists. No, I like it now. Sorry, I was thinking. I'm sure I talked about this before. No, I talked about it last week on Midnight Resistance, and that's only just gone up literally 2 minutes before we recorded this. So, no, Hyperlight Drifter is good. They've made changes. So I've got Radio the Universe, which actually looks a lot like Hyperlight Drifter. And that was supposed to be delivered on March 2014. It's being worked on. I still get emails from the developer. Ditto Death Road to Canada. That was supposed to be on November 2013. Again, I mean, I've got the alpha of that, or beta, whatever it is. That's just fine. What I've played of it, I wasn't blown away by. But again, they are working on it. It's just really late. And Being Frank, the Chris Seavey story. So it's the Frank Sidebomb documentary. Again, though, that was estimated delivery.
That's going to appear, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I mean, again, I sort of feel sorry for the guy because he basically went, I want to do this project. If you've got any useful footage, then just send it to me. And then ended up with like literally hundreds and hundreds of hours of footage. So he's basically just spent years just trying to edit it all down. He's now got it down to 10 hours, apparently.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so that's it. I mean, I tried to back... I did initially try and back Shenmue 3, and then I had no money when they tried to take the pledge, and I was like, I think I'm just going to leave that. Because once the initial, the shine had come off it, and I was like, actually, I'm looking again, this is all a bit wonky.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just going to step away and not correct my card details. Oh, I mean, I'd love it if it was. Just doesn't seem likely, does it?
I mean, I was so close to actually like putting. I just checked my Kickstarter and I backed $29, which it's just basically the digital version for PC or PS4. But I was so close at many points during the campaign to pay for like the $100 like leather jacket, whatever.
Go for the jacket, yeah.
Well, it's leather jacket or the artbook or whatever. I think leather jacket was probably a bit more than 100. But yeah, I was like, oh god. I think at one point I did actually pledge it, then I brought it back down to $29. But
yeah,
you weren't tempted to go for the dinner, It's...
me and you, Suzuki.
I mean,
the weird ones,
stuff's always been weird, hasn't it? I mean, they've been doing that since day one.
Yeah, I will take you out for a dinner. There you go. What was the one where it said? Oh no, I'm not even going to do that. Sorry, I've just realised what it was, so I'm going to keep quiet.
Okay, we need to. What?
Right, okay, I'll do it. There was one that was really weird that said, "We'll treat you like James Bond for the day, and we'll, you'll go and drive cars and have a dinner with us.
Yeah,
a restaurant, a really high class restaurant, and we'll have martinis and all that sort of stuff." And it was for Ace of Spies, Michael Fox's game. That one didn't get taken up, so I didn't want to. Anyway, I've never felt so.
I backed that tier.
Did you?
I need that.
Did you feel like James Bond for the day?
I've come to collect it.
He's living like James Bond all of his life, mate. That's just his...
Yeah.
I just imagine one of the perks, I'll have sex with a Bond girl, and then like Michael just walks in a blonde wig with some bad makeup. Hello, Mr. Bond.
He's like, good night.
I've been expecting you.
I've never felt so smug than when I bought Sports Friends for the PS4, and I went to the credits to see that because Sean paid for the tier where you get your name in the credits.
Oh, yeah.
So I was literally just scanning down to see Sean's name. I don't know why. I thought it was bored. And I found Sean's name, but I also found out that someone else called David Turner backed it. So I just thought, well, I got the same treatment.
That's a freebie, isn't it?
And I didn't have to do it. Yeah, cool. Right, okay, sorry. James is done. Sean, what have you been playing?
I, in a desperate bid to feel all right this weekend, I've had a bit of a splurge on the Steam sale.
Bought
a bunch of games. The only one I've really put any time into is Stardew Valley, which is
good.
Yeah, it's a sort of Harvest Moon type affair, where you inherit a farm. Ironically, something I would not wish to happen to me in real life right now.
Given Brexit.
Fuck's sake.
You inherit a farm and you go and just plant crops and get cows and chickens and you sell shit that they produce, and there's this whole it's such a weird game, right? Because there's this whole town and it's full of people and it sort of, and they're all individual characters and they've got their own personalities and their own little. I think they've all got their own little stories and stuff, and you can marry one of them and have kids and all sorts of shit. But at the start of the game, it's got this relationship system where as you talk to people and do stuff for them, they start to like you more. But literally at the start, there's the mayor who's all right, and then there's this woman who she's like a carpenter, so she builds stuff for you. They're okay. Everyone else just treats you like shit. There's no... it's not like you start off with them in a neutral position, and then depending on how you treat them, you can go up or down. You just start at fucking zero. And literally you try and talk to people, and they're just like, hi, what do you want? Or literally they'll just go, don't talk to me, or your clothes are weird, and you just think, fuck off. I've just come out, I've quit my job, I've come out here to run this farm. I just want to mind my own business, really. And that would be bad enough, except every so often you'll get a letter and it's like, the fucking village fete is next week and you'd better show up and show off your best produce. And it's like, I don't really like anyone. I can't be bothered. I just want to get on. But then, and you have to fucking show up, and then the mayor judges your shit and he's like, oh yeah, you got 4th place. Have some stars to spend on rubbish games.
What is this? This just sounds so weird. What does it look like? Is it top down? Is it what?
So it's top down. It sort of looks like a SNES game if a SNES game was made now, if that makes any sense. SNES game but running in high def. It does look really nice. The art style's really smart. And it's just a game where you just run a farm. But you, like I say, there's all the town stuff, and there's this sort of narrative where there's this big corporation that's got a supermarket in the town, but then there's the little village shop that sells all your fine artisanal goods. And there's a bit of a thing about you can back either one, I think. And then, but there's also there's a dungeon that you can go in and kill monsters as well.
There's absolutely loads of stuff. I remember when this came out, people from, I think Dan Reichert from Giant Bomb was obsessed with this game. And all the amazing stories we heard about meeting different villagers, getting an item from a girl that he was befriending, her house, and he was giving that to someone else, and that was leading on to another part of the quest. It sounds class. Just before my house got burgled, I was actually working on Mac, because it's not officially out for Mac, but it is coming soon. But I was going to buy it and convert it so you can basically convert sort of Windows games into Mac versions. But because this game looks amazing, and this is actually being announced the other week for it's going to come out on Xbox One and PS4.
Yeah,
and also Wii U, which I reckon on the gamepad it would be brilliant on Wii U. But
that'd be really nice, actually. Yeah.
And then Mac and Linux versions are coming very, very soon, apparently. So I'm definitely gonna jump on when I get a chance when it comes out, because it looks really interesting.
It's proper good. It has the whole Harvest Moon thing of you plant some crops and then you get some vegetables or whatever, and then you sell them, and then you buy more seeds, you plant more crops, and you keep reinvesting, and you plant more and more crops, and then it just gets to the point where you've got more crops than you can be arsed watering, because you have to water them every day. So that, yeah, but then obviously that's the point at which you meant to go, right, and now I'll get some animals instead, and then you sort of start branching out a bit. But like until, like, it's very easy to just plant way too many crops and just be like, I can't be fucking bothered watering these, man. It's too much effort. And like some days you'll wake up and it's raining, and your first thought is like, oh, thank fuck. Like, it's got that weird like phenomenon from Harvest Moon where sometimes you'll just wake up and, like, knowing that the only thing you had to do that day was water your crops, so your character will wake up, go, oh good, it's raining, straight back in bed and just fucking sleep for another 24 hours. But yeah, no, I am really, like, I mean, I've chucked like 14 hours into it over the weekend, so yeah, quite good.
So you think you're going to carry on playing it then?
Is it going to be workable on consoles, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm playing it with a controller. The
right.
only, like, I've kept, like, I've got a keyboard with a little touchpad on it. I've kept that, like, to hand just because there's a couple of bits where I've needed it, but only because the developers just haven't bothered putting a controller solution in, if that makes sense. Like, there's no reason they couldn't, they just haven't. So obviously with the console versions, they will. So
yeah, I'm just reading on the Stardew Valley blog now about the new versions, and he says that the current PC controller support is really rudimentary. So
yeah.
And it's far from ideal, so he's obviously going to totally rework that for consoles. Yeah. But I was excited about this when it first came out. And I'm glad to see you're playing. I'm looking forward to hearing some stories in the next few weeks, hopefully.
Yeah, like I say, I need to get more involved in the town side of things. But literally, I just get up, sort my chickens out, water my crops, maybe go down the mines, kill some bastards, and then go to bed. So I should probably actually, like, you get these little missions where someone's just like, I need a watermelon. And I just haven't been bothered doing any of that stuff. But like I say, it does apparently lead on to loads of weird, interesting stuff. So
I've never played a Harvest Moon game, but I've also heard a lot of comparisons to Animal Crossing. So how much of this is also Animal Crossing like? Yeah,
that's fair, because, like, yeah, Harvest Moon is always quite light on the town stuff, if I remember right. It's been a long time since I played Harvest Moon, because actually most of them have been rubbish recently. I was sort of, when Stardew Valley came out, I was like, oh yeah, fucking Harvest Moon. I haven't played a Harvest Moon in ages. I wonder which of the recent ones is worth having. None of them, apparently. But because it has more of this stuff, like, you know, your sort of relationships with people in the town and stuff, then yeah, it's definitely a bit Animal Crossing, yeah.
I'd be definitely up for trying this, because especially... See, Harvest Moon was one of the only games that my wife actually ever has become obsessed with. Okay. She spent ages playing that, and she might be interested as well.
When this game's announced, I think I texted you, James, saying you've got to play this game. This game sounds right up your street.
I'm a big Animal Crossing fan. It's until my save game got deleted by my daughter.
Well, you didn't say that. You haven't mentioned it out there. Hundreds and hundreds of hours down the pan.
I think it was about 200 hours. Over the several years, and she deleted it. I was pretty. Did she do
it like purely by accident, or was it an actual act of malice?
It was well, she tells me it was accident, but the second, because she did it a second time as well. I just started to build up again,
God,
and then she did it a second time, and that's when I was like, "You're never touching this game ever again." And I wasn't very happy. But this was because at this stage she was just learning to read, and she just didn't bother like reading stuff, and just used to just like tap through. And she did that, and I was pretty angry because seriously, I know it sounds ridiculous, but I spent, I don't know, like I said, hundreds of hours playing that game, and you put a lot into it, and then suddenly it's all gone, and it's just
that must be such a weird thing as a parent, because obviously you don't want to be the parent who's just like, don't touch daddy's toys.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's the thing. I mean, I always like, because I play games with her all the time. Like, we play games together all the time, and it's one of the things we like doing. But when that's why it's really difficult with save games, because you're just like, please don't choose this save game, because this is my save game, and I've put 40 hours into this. Please don't do that.
Turning into the guy at the end of the Lego movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, but it's just you have. But most games it's not really a problem, but some games it's like that. Yeah, it is. You got this to come, David. It's great.
Yeah, I'm a pretty decent parent, so I think my child will know not to do that sort of stuff. Speaking of which, I'm still playing through Donkey Kong country tropical freeze.
No.
That is still beautiful. What did they not even bother about the pad support on that game? Just mirror it at least.
Does it not even do that?
No, it's the screen's black when
Fuck.
and what's even worse, it asks you at the start, do you want to play it on the telly or the pad? And then to get it back on the pad, it's not just a simple button press like on Wind Waker. It's you have to go into a menu and then select pad and play it on that. It's really annoying, actually, surprisingly annoying, considering I play all my other games straight on the telly. But with games like that, I like to be able to, because I'm always playing them when Harry's about, and he's always running up in front of his TV and just standing there like a div. And that's okay with Mario Kart because I can look down and just watch the screen, but not on Tropical Freeze. But still, yeah, I mean the game's incredible, so I'll give it a pass. It's well good. But yeah, one game I did go back to, or games I did go back to, were FIFA and PES. Obviously, with the Euro 2016 going on, oh no, it's ended now. I've got a bit wrapped up in the football thing, and man, that FIFA is a strange beast. What a weird game. I mean, it's got the game modes that PES hasn't. So obviously, we've been playing co-op seasons again, but I see it as a comedy game now because we were absolutely battering the team. We went 1-0 down. We pulled it back 2-1. There was a minute left. And their player just managed to just skip past every tackle, everything, and shoot from 40 yards, and it went top right-hand corner. And but that would have infuriated me a few years ago, but I just burst into laughter this time because it's beyond parody. It's like, that game, you always play it, and you always feel, all right, he wants that team to score now. This game's decided that this game's going to end 1-1 or 2-2. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't feel like a game of skill. It's a bit like
doesn't. Those crane machines.
Very much so, Sean. I'm glad you mentioned that. I was about to say myself.
It's funny, but the consistency I get out of those crane machines, I'd have to argue that, part of the skill is working out when to put money in, Matt.
Like immediately after I've been on it.
That's the lesson you got to learn. So yeah, I've been playing that, and I tried. Did I mention that I did the Euro 2016 stuff on PES? What a fucking letdown that is. I hope EA gets that back next time. Absolutely no effort put in whatsoever. I mean, to the point where it was the night before the tournament kicked off, and they released the big Euro 2016 update. So the game modes were patched in about a month before, but the kits were all the old kits. They weren't the new kits for Euro 2016. They patched the kits, but not the squad. So still playing Walcott up front for England during Euro 2016, the day before the tournament kicked off. Fucking insane.
But that's just because Konami's got...
Konami's got what?
Well, it's because there's only about 5 people working at Konami now. So that's probably
true.
why.
I mean, I watched all the stuff about PES 2017 and what they're doing with it, and apparently they've literally rebuilt the whole squad system for Pro Evo 2017. They've apologised for how it's been in the past, but now there will be weekly updates like FIFA, which is a good sign, because I was, with all this Konami stuff, I was a little bit concerned about Pro Evo and what was going to happen just as it was coming into its stride a bit. I was a little bit worried that the brakes were going to be put on, but it would seem that they're still putting a lot of effort into it, but there's still so much more that it needs to add before I can fully convert over to it. I mean, if it hasn't got co-op seasons or some sort of co-op mode to get into, then I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I can get it this year. Do you know what I mean?
But isn't this like their only game now? What other games have they said they're going to focus on? PES and... Is that it?
They said pachinko machines, right?
Yeah, they don't like those.
So it's like, I don't know, just skying really, because what I want is a very decent challenger for FIFA, because they have got lazy again. And I genuinely think because Pro Evo 2016 was so well received that this is why they've made the big shift over to, what engine do they use?
Fox Sound, doesn't it?
No, Fox, isn't Fox Konami?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That theirs. But EA have changed engines for the
Frostbite.
new FIFA.
Yeah.
Frostbite, that's the one.
Okay.
Yeah, they've changed engines for that, so it'd be interesting to see what comes out of it. I just hope they drop the bullshit, the clear bullshit. I mean, even when I'm playing Overwatch and I think there's bullshit involved, I'm still thinking at the back of my mind, maybe it's all in my head. But with FIFA, it's like, this is so obvious now. No one writes about it. No one really mentions it. And you're just like, fuck, I just want to sit them down. I want to make a compilation video and sit the developers down and go, why? Why has that happened? That's not skill, is it? That's
I'd love
bullshit.
to see that video.
Just, yeah.
We've got
Maybe
to
I'll
get
get my
that
dad
happening.
to do it.
If
I'll get
anyone
my
from
dad to do
EA
it.
PR is listening, get involved. Get in touch. thecomputergameshow@gmail.com. I want to see this video of Dave Basie. He spent like weeks creating a compilation video, and then it's like, okay, what do you think about that? Why has that happened?
Why
Okay,
does that happen?
Pause. Why has that happened? What's this
Did
about?
I
6
tell you
hours.
about my idea for a new video for my dad to do? I want to get him to interview Charles Martineau.
Oh my god.
I wouldn't tell him anything about him. I'd just say, this is the guy that voices Mario, and I'd write the questions down for him, because the questions wouldn't be important. It'd just be his reaction to him coming out with the weird voices all the time. I hate ragging on him because he seems so happy. But
Yeah, but that's
at
your
the
dad
same
you're talking
time,
about.
chill out, mate. You know what I mean? Just calm down. You know what I mean? There's no need for this now. Right, okay, that's what we've been playing. Should we go through the emails and tweets?
Let's do it.
Aye.
Yeah, we could do that. Okay. Embarrassingly, I've now got to open the window, which I'm filling time by talking, but there we go. Okay.
Is that because you've just done a Trump?
Yep.
Trump.
I did indeed.
Nice.
Okay. So, no. Anyway, emails.
No.
Hi guys, I've just realised that my podcast audio speed settings have been set at x 1.5, so like times 1.5 for the last 6 months now. Now reset, you all sound a lot less enthusiastic and the theme tune isn't as good. Thanks for living it.
That's not a question.
Is
That's
that a
just a
statement?
statement. But
It's
like,
just a nice email. That's all right.
that's interesting because a friend of mine told me recently that that's how he listens to podcasts, and it blew my mind. Should we try and listen to... Should we see what it sounds like at 1.5 speed?
Can do.
Because I just want to know what's going on with that. Because I've also found out my new favourite thing as well. Right, okay, so this is... This is VR. There's another cross next to that. Right, this is at 1.5 speed. On a massive roll of wrongness here by coming out with Bloodborne 2. No, way too soon, James. There's no way you could listen to that and not
No,
realise.
that would drive me insane.
I joined in with Matt's obsession with sequels, and we both said Last of Us 2. No.
Can you slow
Okay,
it down?
this is
Slowing it
too
down's
messy.
usually good.
Well, this is what I'm getting to.
Righto.
Because I have found that Kane and Rince is easily the best show to listen to at 0.5 speed.
Do they all sound pissed by any chance?
Yeah, but it's because it's quite a serious show. And when you listen to people being serious at 0.5 speed, it's fucking hilarious. Let's find one. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. That might be a good one.
While you're doing that, so a few weeks ago I said to Dave, the intros, it sounds different to the one we sort of agreed on. Because the first part of the intro for me is like ridiculously fast, and I realised because on my podcast player I've got a thing that basically sort of removes a lot of the silences. So the intro for me is crazy. It's so fast. And then it goes into it goes into regular old intro.
All right, so your podcast player's got its own truncate silence thing.
Yeah, no,
built
it's
in.
so I use Overcast, and it's got a couple of things. So it's got one thing called Smart Speed. It shortens the silences,
Right.
and it's got voice boost. But yeah. So basically, this sort of changes the speed based off the silences. It's really good.
Yeah. No, because
yeah,
that's something I do manually when I edit. Well, not manually. Thing I do with Audacity on Midnight Resistance before I publish it. There's a truncate silence thing, so just
and then there's a thing
it makes you sound really snappy and like you know what you're fucking talking about.
There's a thing in like the
We don't need
settings
to use that over here.
No.
of Overcast, and it says Smart Speed has saved me over an extra 45 hours beyond speed adjustments alone.
Fuck. That's
40 hours of
terrifying.
podcasts I've saved.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the greatest thing in podcasting, Kane and Rince at half speed.
Alpha, Sapphire, Amiga, Ruby, X and Y games, and the TV series as well. Presumably because the music carries over. Koji Kondo only gets an advisor credit in.
Fucking hell, that's good.
The other good one I've found to listen to that at 0.5 speed, right, is where is it? See if you can work out what it is, because it's this is really good for it.
This podcast contains bad language. I added one more podcast to the giant podcast bin.
That's Adam Buxton's podcast there.
Oh man, going
Absolutely
fully
glorious.
off topic.
So,
Have you heard his episode with Johnny Greenwood?
Yeah.
That's like, I'm so jealous that exists. Not just because he got to interview Johnny Greenwood, but just how nice that is as a bit of fucking radio. It's just perfect.
Johnny. Oh, what? When he's just walking around with?
He's just fucking walking around in Leon with Johnny Greenwood, and it's like
my favourite bit of that is when someone just goes. Some French girl goes up to him and just goes, yes. "Hello, can I have an autograph?" And he signs it, and then he just goes, "Oh, that must have been so disappointing for her." So, just hearing the other side of it as it happened was really good.
Yeah.
It's a shame we didn't do walkabouts when we were recording our podcast, when we were doing JoyPod, just to hear people shouting "magnetic fuck" in the background. Sad. Next question.
Okay, hello everyone. Thanks for making such a great podcast. It's very great. I have a question for everyone, but particularly Sean. If there was any game that you would give the HD makeover to, what would it be and why? This is from Father Jack.
This is definitely now a wind up at this point.
That is definitely a wind up.
Good.
Yeah.
Skate 3 is the answer.
Skate 3. Okay.
Cooler World.
Okay, next we got tweets. So, Athena Allen, we got, where are you all moving to now the ship is sinking?
Well, I spent a bit of Friday researching this, and I've decided it's going to be Canada.
Yeah, I was weighing up Canada. It's between Canada, New Zealand, or maybe Scotland, depending on what happens there.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely love Edinburgh. Edinburgh's amazing. New Zealand, the spiders be too much. So, again,
I forgot about that.
Capone lives over there, so yeah, Canada sounds perfect to me.
Yeah, and it's got proper snow, mate. I'll be well into that.
No, I need somewhere warm.
Well, I'll tell you what, Dave. You could come back to China with us, because I've been considering that. It's,
really?
Where you get shot foreigner over and over again.
Mate, it's not going to be much better here.
Exactly. It's better. I'd rather
why would I want to move there? I'd move somewhere nicer. You've slagged off China non-stop since I've met you.
I know, but at least people there, when they're like that to me, it's not as bad as me. Like at the moment, I'm petrified somebody's going to say something horrible to my wife. So
hold on? Did you change that sentence mid-sentence? Then were you going to say, at least when they're doing it to me, it's not as bad as when I do it to them? That's what it sounded like you were going to say. Then
I was no, I was not going to say that. But yeah. So I was thinking there, or Switzerland, because we've got some family there. Was another option, but yeah.
I went to Switzerland once, and they were very, very racist. Just my experience. Cyprus, probably. Nice and warm, innit?
Yeah, but a really fledgling economy. But anyway, whatever.
Yeah, well, again.
Anyway, all the halloumi you could eat, though. Fucking hell.
This is really depressing. Next.
Okay. Out of all the post-apocalyptic worlds we've played in games, which one do you think we're on course for?
Fucking hell.
What was that game that was called? It wasn't great, but it had some weird ideas. It was called like Frontlines, Fuel of War, something like that.
No, what is that?
It came out in like 2008 on the Xbox 360, and it was like just a sort of fairly rubbish Call of Duty knockoff, but it had like in the multiplayer mode, it had basically all the stuff you now get in Rainbow Six. It had like little remote control drones that you could drive around and do stuff with, and apparently it was quite good fun. But yeah, that was all like. The setting of that was really scary because it was just like, what happens if in about 5 years, like the economy gets a bit fucked and food production is fucked and everything just falls apart? And it was just very believable. So yeah, that one.
I don't know. I think you can just pick any World War II game and but this time where the bad is. I think is the way it's going.
Mad Max be another one.
I don't. If I had a choice, it
Stalker.
would probably be The Last of Us because giraffes are cool and they're all right. Know what I mean? As long as the giraffes are all right, then I'm happy. That's what I'm trying to
The
say.
world moves on.
Yeah, definitely. Next question.
Okay, we got Dirty Bristow 71. Why are England so unbelievably shit at everything?
Oh my God, what is going on? Our listeners are the most depressing people in the history of the world.
Everyone's depressed, Dave. The answer is because we thought we could thrash Iceland. We didn't give them the respect they deserved, and we got absolutely mugged off by. I can't even talk about the next question.
Oh, come and play with us. Let's set up a community gaming night. Fuck everything, we're all going to die. I mean, sell yourselves a bit more. We might be interested. Next question.
Which game's characters would make for good Prime Minister or England manager?
Okay, I think we can workshop this. I think we can do a good one. So we need someone.
Kirby.
We need someone with good tactics.
Kirby for Prime Minister or England manager, or both?
Both. I don't know. Who cares?
Okay.
Okay. Have you got an answer, Matt?
Well, okay. We need someone. Okay, England manager. We need someone dependable. We need someone with quite a lot of tactics.
And right. If we're going on motivational speaking, then it's got to be Shepherd, right? It's got to be Shepherd. I think he would make a good England manager. Terrible, terrible Prime Minister, but good England manager.
He'd make a good Prime Minister.
No, he would. No, he or she would not. Sean.
They would.
They would just run around punching reporters in the face.
Well, are you honestly saying some of them haven't got it coming, Dave?
No, good point. Knowing that left trigger is always there would put me on edge constantly. Imagine him just walking past, or her walking past, the nuke button, and just that little red symbol flashes up. It's fucking tempting, isn't it?
Or Kelvin McKenzie. Just one of those. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
Clearly you don't know who that is. But anyway, let's move on.
Okay. Next question.
You have to give up video games forever or never watch another England football match. Which one do you choose?
Give up video games forever or never watch an England match?
Well, I've never watched an England match, so this is an easy one for me.
Yeah, this is probably aimed at me and Matt more, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so hard to...
It is tough
Hang on.
because
I watch football as well. Hang on.
Say we're on about England in Euro 2016. That moment when Sturridge scored that last second goal against Wales was an incredible moment.
I've never felt better than that moment playing a video game, ever. Not even close.
No,
I was trying to explain this
true.
I was trying to explain... What?
I said that's definitely true, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I was trying to explain this in the group chat that we've got set up with a bunch of nerds, that the thing with football is that it has that moment where that ball crosses the line, and when you invest yourself into a football and you kind of...
into a football, okay.
Into football,
we go
and you elevate and you elevate it the importance of it higher than it should be, and it generally, I mean, come on, we lost a football match, it's ridiculous that we're elevating it to this sort of status of importance, but when it's there, when that ball crosses the line, there is literally no other feeling like it, literally no other feeling. To the point where the ball hit the back of the net, Sturridge put it in the back of the net, I was grabbing strangers, jumping up and down, just screaming.
I was doing that.
I can't imagine anything making me feel that way. So to just get rid of that from my life, I don't know. But then I play video games all the time and I love them. So
yeah, I guess I'd have to lose England, but because it's okay because I can watch Premier League games and stuff, so it wouldn't be the end of the world, but it would be going.
I think you're right. I think I would have to lose England as long as I still had Millwall. God, that is depressing, isn't it?
That's worse.
When I'm more excited about Millwall than fucking England. Jesus. What has happened?
Next question.
Okay. So, also from Alex79, we've got, what do you make of the Resi 7 demo? Played for 10 minutes and deleted. Fuck that. No thanks, not for me.
I've not tried it.
I've
Has anyone
downloaded
tried
it, and I was also watching like some of the streams when it came out on the day after the demo went live, and it looks very good. But let's just be honest, I won't be able to handle that. I mean, this is actually out, with a VR version when PSVR comes out. I mean, that would be horrific. But I've read lots about it. I've actually read a fair bit about this demo this week because there's loads of people making a lot of comparisons to this episode of the X-Files called Home. There's loads of thematic things that it does almost identically to that episode of X-Files. Yeah, I don't know. Resident Evil looks really, really interesting. This obviously is. I don't think this isn't even going to feature into the game. This is just like a demo to give you a general feel of it. I believe is that correct?
Yeah, they wholesale stole the idea of PT, haven't they? And just whacked it out.
Well, isn't it? Apparently, the main game isn't going to be much like this.
Yeah. I've heard that. So I haven't played it at all, but it does look amazing. But I'm too much of a scaredy cat.
Yeah, I've not played it. I'm not massively into horror games either, to be honest with you. So it hasn't interested me enough to download it. But
See, I was a big fan of the Resident Evil games, but I don't own a PS4, so yeah, I'm not going to be playing.
James, can you just get that sorted now? Can you just get that sorted now?
It's getting ridiculous now. I bought an
literally
Xbox
tonight.
today.
Just order one and get Rocket League for stars.
All timer, one of the best games ever.
Yeah,
that's a fact. That's a cast iron fact.
Can you just do that now? I'm being deadly serious here.
If you give me some money, yeah. I've got no money at the moment. I can't.
You've got money.
I've not got money.
You've got money, James.
Next
Come
question.
on.
Okay, anyway. This is from Stuart Baker UK. We got just finished Doom this week. Fast-paced, brutal fun. I highly recommend Dave picks it up. Next up for me is Until Dawn.
It's on the list. There's a list at the moment building up with games that I should really get to.
Until Dawn's on my list, actually.
Until Dawn's excellent. I can send you that if you want.
Oh yeah, do that. Yeah, I want to play that. Is that scary, or is that just more like a?
It's full of cheap jump scares, but not the type that are too. I don't know how do I describe it. They're silly ghost train jump scares rather than horrible jump scares like in PT. And it's excellent. It's really, really good.
Yeah, I want to play that.
The thing is, I did have to restart it because this is totally true. There are throughout the game you get interviewed by a psychiatrist, and he's the creepiest motherfucker I've ever seen in a game. And at one point he goes, "Tell me, what scares you more, clowns or scarecrows?" And you pick that and stuff like that. And spiders or snakes? And I was like, well, spiders. And then I went, hold on, I've literally just told a horror game what scares me. So I had to restart and play through that whole bit again and pick snakes.
Brilliant.
True story.
Okay. Matt G. Sanders says, how do you remain rigidity for a whole day without collapsing to a heap and gorging on wine gums?
Bloody good question, Matt. I'm glad someone asked that.
Go on, Matt.
I can't. I just eat a lot of wine gums.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm more of a fruit pastel man, Matt. So sort out.
I don't know if it's a comfort eating thing, but I've not felt full for like 3 days now. I can just keep eating at the moment. I don't know what.
We should stream this, Sean. This sounds amazing.
You're just constantly throwing up like all over the place.
Yeah.
Okay, spunk my dosh on PSVR or save it for the NX.
That's not his name. That's not his username. That's the question.
Spunk my dosh. I'll ask the question.
What was that? Spunk your dosh on PSVR or
save it for the NX?
I mean, we don't know, do we? Because we don't know what the NX is. I mean,
and also, I would hope not be out in March.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope by the time PSVR's out, we'll have some idea what the NX is. What's the release date for PSVR again?
October 13th.
Okay.
If you had to choose between one or two at this stage, I would say absolutely wait for the NX.
Yeah,
definitely.
Because, I mean, like
one's
as
console,
cool,
one's a peripheral.
Yeah, I mean, as cool as PSVR is, I'd maybe suggest waiting a bit anyway, just to see if it's really going to stick.
No, Sean, no. Day one or die.
No, I mean, obviously, the the excitement of having it day one is always a thing. But I'd be interested to give it a month or two and see if people are actually using it regularly. You know?
They won't. It's a gimmicky peripheral.
Don't tell Matthew that.
I'm still going to buy it, Sean.
It'll come out and people will
won't change
adore
anything.
it. Like, absolutely adore it, and it'll be a good bit of kit. I have no doubts that it will be good. But ask those people if they're still using it after Christmas. I'm not so sure
So,
that
David,
they will.
are you saying this is basically going to be Sony's Kinect?
Not Kinect, because I think it won't get a bad rap, if you know what I mean. I don't think it will be seen as a bad bit of technology. I just can't see how it's going to be in a position where people will use it constantly for gaming. And that's all you can really use it for on the PS4, isn't it? Whereas, Oculus and Vive, they'll find other things to do with it. I think PSVR, it will be a bit of a flash in the pan.
I wouldn't be surprised if they allow you to watch and stream Netflix and stuff on it. I wouldn't be surprised if they open up to media apps on the PS4.
Why would you want to?
I haven't watched a film on Oculus, but a lot of people say that before Oculus came out as a consumer product, a lot of people were saying that one of the best apps on that thing was one of sort of virtual cinemas, and it looks like you're watching this 70-inch screen or whatever it is. And apparently, watching films on these things is a really good experience. So I haven't tried that myself. It'd be interesting to see what that's like, and I wouldn't be surprised if they open it up to things like Now TV or Netflix or whatever.
Yeah, that's going to make it like a solitary experience. Of like sitting there watching a film. Part of the fun is like when you're with someone or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, but if everyone else is in bed, I don't know, whatever.
No, that's true.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to PSVR, obviously, but if there's an option for that, I'll wait till October, see what the buzz is like, and then make them, as Sean says, by October we should have more of an idea about NX. I don't think it'll be out in March. I can't see it happening unless they've got shitloads done behind the scenes and they're just
it does seem odd.
Conference.
Yeah, it does seem odd that they had nothing. Like, if it's coming out in March, it's very odd that they had nothing to show at E3. But then maybe that's just I don't know. It's just their plan. Who knows? I mean, you would think if they were going to announce... Basically, you would think they would want to get word out prior to Christmas just to spoil everyone else's Christmas, basically. Because they know people are going to be heading into Christmas like, well, I've got a PS4, maybe I'll just get an Xbox One. Whereas if, early October, Nintendo could just be like, here's the NX, it's not out this Christmas, but maybe don't spend a shitload of money this Christmas and wait until March, because it's going to be good.
I can see him doing that.
Yeah.
That sounds perfect.
It sounds perfect, so they won't do that.
No.
Yes. It's too good an idea. So.
Okay, so then Osfo says, will any of you be getting Inside tomorrow?
Yeah, pre-ordered it.
Yeah, I've already... Yeah,
now, is this... I know this is coming to Windows 10 as well, but it's not the same day, is it? I think there's a bit of a delay on the PC version. Is that right?
I don't know. It says Windows and Xbox One, but I don't know if there's a delay.
Anyway, yes, it looks like a really good game. Looking forward to seeing what it's all about.
Okay, next one. Ms. Rangers 999. If you've never played VR, would you gamble on day one PSVR? PS, I'm not Ms. Rangers. I'm initials, IMS Rangers. Okay, so thank you, Ms. Rangers. But yeah, go
Mrs. Rangers, I presume.
Rangers.
If the question is, if I hadn't played VR before, would I? Have we all experienced VR now, like as it is? James, have you?
No, I've never used it.
You haven't got PS4,
I've only
PS4,
messed around with like Google Cardboard. I've not had a proper go.
You've not tried an Oculus?
No. Well, I tried the very first one on some horse racing simulator, so I don't really feel like that counts.
Yeah, I mean, I've the only one that I've done is the first dev kit for Oculus, so I'm way out of date with it. But no, I think these PSVR headsets are going to be a lot cheaper next year. Yeah, I still think the experience will still be really good. So I'm quite happy to wait. Know what I mean? And then when Matt comes down...
Yeah, I was going to say, I was thinking, but we need to basically, on that launch weekend, we should meet up and play it, and then we can all talk about it on the next show.
Can we do that?
yeah, let's try and get something organised, and then we can
That'd be
all talk
cool.
about it next week.
Yeah,
we can all
let's
say
do
this
that.
is a pile of shit, and I'm just getting taken back. Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm quite high on VR, and I think it looks amazing. But I also don't anticipate this is how I'm going to be playing every game ever and for hours and hours. This will be like, some really, really fantastic experiences for an hour, and then I go back to playing games as I do now. But yeah,
So that's
I
why
think
I'm excited about things like rigs. Just because that's going to be like half an hour, couple of matches, done. Like, that's fine. It's not it's not a fucking 20-hour story-based thing. It's just dip in, dip out.
How long do you think it's going to be after it comes out before we have our first like VR death, as in somebody that sits in there for like 30 hours or something and ends up dying? If you're
Well, there
not
was,
eating
there was
find out
already
next episode.
there was always already that Facebook post about how someone was trying to suffocate themselves while masturbating using VR porn.
Doing
Oculus Rift.
a VR asphyxie wank.
Yeah,
Jesus.
And their flatmate found them on the floor, trousers around the ankles,
Shit,
and
man.
posted a photo of on Facebook.
Fuck.
Yeah, look it up.
What
That
a world.
happened. Totally. James, let's feel the sort of natural progression of the podcast here, mate.
That's it.
I think that's it, yeah.
Oh right, okay.
If you'd have been checking the doc, you'd have seen that.
Yeah, it's
but-
naturally
you
progressed.
You usually say in the last question or whatever, unless I
It's
missed that.
naturally
Anyway,
died.
let's not argue. Let's not, bring the show down even further than it has been. Matt, do you want to go through some social media stuff? Because it's been a while since we've done it properly.
Why not? Well, this show is, of course, on iTunes. Please subscribe and leave us a review. That'd be awesome. You can email the show. We're getting plenty of emails now, so you've got to get on board. Everyone's doing it. Email thecomputergameshow@gmail.com. We're at Computer Game Pod on Twitter. We're also on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/thecomputergameshow. And we're also on YouTube, youtube.com/thecomputergameshow. I have been slack in putting episodes up on YouTube, but they're coming. So from this week onwards, the new episodes will go up there also on Wednesdays when the new show drops. And that's it.
And thanks for the insane response we've had over the past 2 weeks. Please continue to tell people that we exist, because it's the only way people find out about this thing. And that seems to have happened over the past couple of weeks. We've had a load of followers on Twitter, and that would be great if we could get some more. So tell your friends that we're about and that what we're doing, because it's always nice to have more people on the old pod boat. Right, thanks for living it. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Cheerio.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.